If you're a world builder, you probably already know what a pantheon is, which is just really a grouping of gods in a polytheistic religion or mythology. They're always defined by the culture that worships them, like an Aztec, Egyptian, Norse, Greek. Those are the ones that we usually all know. Although you can have a pantheon that is the same pantheon that has different groups that worship it. For instance, the Greeks and the Romans had the same gods, they just gave them different names. But usually the pantheons are different for the region, and you can have multiple pantheons within a world. Sometimes they act against each other, and one pantheon is warring against the other. They're usually for polytheistic religions, but they can be monotheistic actually when you think about it. I mean, the Christian religion has God as the one God, but then you also have the devil, and then if you throw in some angels and demons, it starts to sound pretty polytheistic, which is a pantheon in of itself. Depends on what your theology is and all of that. Pantheons often do include demigods and worshippers and others that are part of the mythology itself. And most of the gods, their powers are determined by their roles, as in the god of sunshine, the god of dawn, storms, trickery. Those are some of the ones we all know. And we have a big chart in the book and on my website where you can look at a whole bunch of different roles and pick them out for your gods. And most of the time that has to do with the intervention, because the god is the god of something. They are often asked to do something or might not do something depending on where their level of intervention is. Richard Baker in the World Builder's Guidebook, which is an old D&D or AD&D guidebook, which is really worth looking up. I think it's out of print. Find it on in a PDF if you want. He really outlined these as oblivious, aloof, moderate, meddlesome, and direct. And for the longest time, I swore I remembered these from a class on religion or philosophy. So I had my friend trying to hunt it down in some texts when it was actually just from a D&D book. But they're very useful to see how with the gods, how they interact with the humans. Oblivious is, where they don't know the humans even really exist or even care. That's your kind of old ones from Cthulhu and that kind of thing. Aloof is where they're aware of as humans, but they don't really interact, or, they might make one thing like, one of their wills known, but who cares? Don't spend much time on the planet itself. Moderate is a mix of kind of aloof and interacting with the humans. They may make their wishes known, but leave it to the humans to carry it out. Meddlesome is where they are taking more of a direct hand, or telling their minions and humans and demigods to do certain things on the world. And direct is where their presence is actually on the world itself, and are taking or interacting with the world and taking direct action themselves to make their will. Testament, whatever, to make their will known on the planet itself. So there you go. Pantheons, a grouping of gods by culture, usually defined by roles, and how they interact with the world itself. And with those, I hope you can build some better worlds.